Hi and welcome. I'm going to start with a bow. It's actually kind of sweet to imagine you here on the other end of this bow and holding you in my space as I bow to you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Unit 5. A couple things I want to say as introduction to this week. First is thank you for your reviews. I really appreciated reading them, and I was happy for the breadth of the material that you brought into the class. One thing I want to say, I hope that you'll be looking at a number of different materials, readings, videos, podcasts, interviews online that are related to this class. Not just two, so I'm requiring two reviews, but I hope you'll be looking for other material that you can bring into the class. If you find things that are especially helpful for you, number one, make that your second review. Number two, just let us know, even if you don't, write a thorough review of it, maybe just a thumbnail, one or two sentences, or even to say, this looks interesting, I haven't read it yet, I haven't looked at it yet, maybe somebody else wants to. Along those lines, I'm encouraging you to join together with others in the class for your second review. Not required, but encouraged. So you might want to float some ideas out, use the community space, or just send an email to everybody in the class. You can do that through the website. And say, this is what I'm interested in, anybody else interested in this? So usually the way it works out is there are a few clusters and a few individuals doing their own work, and that's just fine. For your review, I'd encourage you to look for materials that are, in your mind, especially helpful or especially pertinent to transitions, rites of passage, maybe even a contemplative orientation to this material. And maybe also keep in mind materials that are unique, that we haven't discussed thoroughly in class. So some examples of a couple of the papers that I appreciate. I like lots of them, like them all in their own ways, but I appreciated Angela's paper because it introduced the application of rites of passage in recovery work, addiction and recovery work, and a particular program. I appreciated Mark's paper because it gave us an opportunity to remember that dying is its own major transition, maybe the transition in our lives, or birth and death as the two transitions. And so these were opportunities to bring in themes or material, comments that were related to the rest of the class. I took the opportunity to comment on all the reviews. You'll see that in an announcement this week. Just a few brief comments about each of the papers, and I appreciated the breadth of all the resources you're bringing in. I hope that'll continue. So for your second review, bring in some other resources, and just if you find things that you find useful or might be, let us know about it. The second thing I want to say has to do with the paper that's due next Monday, the 18th. By the end of Monday the 18th, post a short paper, just 2 or 3 pages, focused on the separation phase. So the 3 papers are going to basically break down into one on separation, one on threshold, and then the third longer paper that discusses your own self-generated ceremony, rite of passage, and pulls these together. So in a way, this first paper is part of the material that you will integrate into that third paper. So short, 2 or 3 pages of text, double-spaced, of course. And what I'd like to see is your understanding of the separation phase, how that separation phase has been for you in your life, what's your personal relationship to it, and third, how has studying separation as a particular phase, studying the role of courage and energy and even anger in separation, and what we'll do this week, looking at the role of compassion and self-kindness, and dealing with the losses of transition. Those two aspects of separation or the severance phase. So how has it been for you to engage this material? How has it been for you to look at your own separations through these lenses? The lens of the whole transition rites of passage model, and specifically these two qualities of human nature that seem pertinent, especially relevant to this phase. So this week we do look at the second, we look at separation through a second lens. Last week, courage, energy, anger, the kind of vitality that allows us to separate from the old and engage the adventure. This week, we look at relating to the necessary losses that are part of every transition. Those losses might be foreground, they might be what impels us into a transition, or they might be sort of secondary or in the background. Nevertheless, I think it's important to deal with those losses. So, I look forward to seeing you online. I'm going to bow. Nice to be with you here. Look forward to seeing you online. Bye for now.